Hello and welcome to the dungeon. My name is Dan and today we're having a close look at the new April 2018 FAQ for Warhammer 40,000. There have been a few changes, I just wanted to go through a few of them. So when it comes to using Smite in the Psychic phase, it is now written that it's a -1 to your dice each turn you try and cast it. So for example, normally it's cast on a 5 the first time. If you wish to try a second time in the same phase with a different Psyker, you would now require a 6. So that was a beta rule from the previous chapter approved 2017, which is now official. Next up we have some more information regarding tactical reserves. Actually there was some character information, but I've already glossed over that. This is quite big. So when it comes to Deepstriking, and I'll use that term now even though it has like a billion different versions, when it comes to Deepstriking, before you need to have at least half of your army on the table to begin, and then half would come in when you want, which was fine. Now what they mean by half is power level half. So in match play, even though you're using the regular points found at the back of your codex, you can only have units coming in reserve if the combined power is, I guess, up to and less than half of your combined power, if that makes sense. So basically, if you have a power of 50, for example, you could only have in reserve units up to 25 power. Make sense? Okay, that's kind of big. I was at a tournament a couple of days ago and I was using a very deep strikey type army. So now that army, even though it was less than half in terms of number of units, would now be illegal for match to play. So there we go. Also very big news regarding deep striking. The ruling is, on a player's first turn, you can only deep strike into your deployment zone. So if you are looking to try and get right in your enemy's face with some deep striking terminators or a flying hive tyrant, you can no longer do this on your first turn. You'll have to wait until your second and subsequent turns, or just deploy them as normal. So that will definitely make a difference. Again, I saw it plenty at the tournament. In my deployment zone, my opponent brought in 20 bloodletters, which obviously he could not do now on his first turn going forward. And that now brings us on to Battle Brothers. This has changed, I think, quite substantially. This will definitely affect Imperial soup armies alongside Chaos. So before, when you're creating your detachments, you can include any units you wanted, provided they have the same faction keyword, such as Chaos, Imperium, Eldari, Ynnari, or Tyranids. From the FAQ now, it's still you require a faction keyword, however, the keywords I just mentioned are no longer sufficient for them to be in the same detachment. So I'll go from again: Chaos, Imperium, Eldari, Ynnari, and Tyranids. If you had, say, a Thousand Suns unit and it had the Chaos keyword, you could not have it in the same faction as a Chaos Death Guard unit, because although they had the same keyword of Chaos, they would need another shared faction unit. As I said, this will definitely affect Imperial soup armies the most. So now things like Assassins, Sisters of Silence, various types of Space Marines, it'll be a little more difficult to mix and match them. You can still have separate detachments, so a detachment of Inquisition, an attachment of Astra Militarum, but in between each detachment is going to be a lot more difficult, so just bear that in mind. So on the subject of the Sisters of Silence and the Assassins, you can now include them in a Vanguard detachment, even if there is no HQ unit, which there wouldn't be as of yet. So as long as they have the Imperium keyword and the Warlord is from the Imperium and has that keyword, you can include them in that detachment, but they will not get any command benefits, so no command points for them. There are a few more things regarding Yunari, but just to skip over them and go on to more information regarding detachments. Command benefits, they have increased for battalion and brigade. So battalion detachments now give you 5 command points when you take that, which is nice. Brigade detachments now give you 12 command points, so expect to see a lot more stratagems. Tide of Traitors, which is quite a nice one that I've used from time to time, can only be used once per battle, which means if you have a cultist unit and that unit has taken wounds, you can use this stratagem, which is 3 command points I believe, to remove the entire squad and bring it in wherever you wish. 2 or 3, I can't remember off the top of my head. So it's very powerful, allowing you to put a unit of cultists in your opponent's deployment zone and get line breaker or do some more damage. Now you can still do that, but it's only once per battle, so you can't keep on recycling the same cultists. Another update is that abilities which ignore wounds, you can only have 1 of these, so you have to choose which one you want. So anything that used to be feel no pain, you can only have 1 of those special rules, which I think is fair. Right, now this is a bit of a shake-up. So organised events, it took me a second to realise what it actually meant by number of times each datasheet can be included. So it gives 3 different brackets, up to 1000 points, 1001 to 2000, and 2001 to 3000. So in the rulebook, I'm pretty sure it says for up to 1000, for example, up to 2 detachments per army, which is normal. Now, number of times each datasheet can be included, up to 2 per army. It doesn't include troops or dedicated transports, but anything else you can only have up to 2 in a 1000 point game. 1001 to 2000 it's 3, and so on and so forth, which means that anyone in a 2000 point game who you'd like to spam, say, Dark Reapers, can now only have 3 of them. I think this, for me, I like to run an all-comers type army with maybe 1 of each different type of unit if I can, so it doesn't affect me that much. But for some people who like throwing tons of Hellbrutes or tons of Dark Reapers again, this could be a bit of a kick in the teeth, so just bear that in mind. So now we've got some points changes, and I do apologise, but I don't have the codexes for all of these, or is it codices, I'm not sure. A couple of ones to mention is Ravuti Gulliman has now gone up from 360 to 400 points, so watch out for that. And my favourite, the Flying Hive Tyrant, has gone up by 20 points to 190. Definitely a bit of a kick in the teeth, but to be fair, they are a little broken anyway, so this I think makes them a bit fairer. I know I glossed over a few more things in this FAQ, and I'll leave a link in the description so you can access it yourself and find out exactly what has changed. Again, I believe Dark Reapers have gone up in points, and I think that's well deserved. So for a Tyranids player, this definitely affects me. I like to play High Fleet Jormungandr, which has a lot of deep striking, tunneling, Raveners and Trigons, Morlocks, that type of thing. So now I have to be very careful regarding the power level. You know what? I always played match play for 8th. I never even really looked at power level. Now I have to. Or I have to think more about having everything turn 1 and going down that type of route, which I might do anyway. Also, deep striking into your own deployment zone turn 1, that will definitely be a factor. I think this will change a lot of powerful meta lists at the moment, but only time will tell. Well, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.